Well, right behind me, as has been for the last 2 days, still mourning, flowers on the ground over the soot where rubble was once burning during the fighting that happened there. The question, how can Ukraine find the $35 billion it says it needs right now to simply keep the country afloat? Its opposition leaders saying they've looked in the national treasury and the coffers are frankly empty. The major concern in the forthcoming days is whether Yanukovych will in fact be arrested. Will he face trial for the mass murder that he said he would be accused of today by opposition leaders? He was last known in a private residence in Balaclava down in the south, and as you said, to try to leave the country on a private plane. But his whereabouts not quite known. Lots of rumours, a lot of speculation. He might be on a Russian naval base. No evidence to that effect. People still waiting, Jake, to actually hear what Vladimir Putin, the main man in Moscow, would actually say. We've heard from his Prime Minister, Dmitry Medvedev, saying the government's not legitimate here and saying that armed rioters took over the country. We just don't know what Vladimir's thinking, and that's the real question here, whether this stops being a geopolitical war and Ukraine can rebuild itself, or Russia decides to intervene somehow or other. Jake?
And Nick, a startling scene when protesters stormed the presidential mansion there. Tell us about that.
Well, quite remarkable. I mean, this is an estate that just goes on and on and on. It's on the outsides of Kiev, and it was built by him, by money, well, frankly, no one quite knows where it came from. Certainly not on his $50,000 a year salary. The question is, where did the money come from? The question is, why do you need an ostrich if you're a president? Why do you need a 1950s Bentley? Fish tanks, endless signs of extravagance in this particular place. Even a tunnel that went from some of the mansions, linking them to the other ones. A huge boat on the river where the only real activity seems to have been partying with extraordinarily expensive wine. The strangest thing about all this, Jake, the vast amounts of money spent on it, but the real signs of very little human life or activity there. Only one real bedroom looked like it was lived in, and that may have been for a daughter of one of his the president's acquaintances here. So extraordinary large amounts of questions to be asked, particularly though by those walking around it. What was all this for? Because it didn't really seem as though people were getting much enjoyment out of it. Jake?
All right, Nick Payton-Walsh, thank you so much.